Hello, my name is Chris Ambrose. I'm one of the instructors here in the chemistry department, and the purpose of this video is to give you an overview of Brightspace for your laboratory course. Brightspace can be accessed from this link here, mycampus.maine.edu/group/USM/home. That's a good site to bookmark. You're going to need to log in with your USM credentials. Then you'll see the home screen for it. And in this Launchpad section right here, if you expand that down, you're going to see an orange circle with a B in the middle. That is Brightspace. So if you click on that, it'll open a new tab. And then you're brought to the general homepage for Brightspace. This will have all of your courses listed. So we're going to be going to the semester that we're currently in, and you should see your laboratory course shown there. So you click on that. And this is the home page for your laboratory course. It's going to contain announcements, a visual table of contents, so it'll show you the folders for each of the weeks, and these will become populated as you go throughout the semester. It'll have a little calendar widget here that will have important due dates. The most used part of the Brightspace site is going to be this content section up here in the banner. So if you click on content, this is going to contain the syllabus, important course information and documents, and then it's going to have a week-by-week breakdown of what you're going to be doing in lab. So the first item is the syllabus, and on the top right of that you can see my information is here. So I'm Chris Ambrose. My email, my office location is actually inside the general chemistry lab. When you first come into the lab, you'll notice in the back that my office is right there. Office hours are going to be Tuesdays from 11 to 1. So this is Laboratory Techniques 1, CHY 114. We're going to be meeting Tuesdays from 8 to 10:50. We won't always go the whole time. And we're always going to be meeting in Science Building 392C. This is the General Chemistry Lab. In terms of the materials that you'll need, it's actually not very many things. The laboratory manual is going to be provided through Brightspace at no additional cost. There are going to need to purchase a pair of safety goggles and glasses, and as well as a student laboratory notebook, which is not the same as a regular notebook, that has carbonless duplicate sets. I'll talk about these two items in just a minute and how you can get them. You will need a calculator that can do scientific, at least scientific notation, so a scientific calculator. A graphing calculator is fine to use, although it's not needed. Microsoft Excel installed on your device. We're going to be using Excel extensively in this course. And as a USM student, you can download Microsoft Office, which includes Excel and Word and PowerPoint, for free. So there is a link that will get you there to download it. You should not have to get through this course without printing anything. But this does include the location of the printers and about how much they charge per type of print. Okay. In terms of the course description and learning outcomes in the rest of the syllabus, you will talk about that in your first laboratory. This is just an overview of Brightspace. So you will be revisiting the syllabus. In the left-hand side here where it says Course Documents, if you click that, this is going to contain important information that will be relevant throughout the semester. For example, you're going to need to take screenshots a lot in lab of your graphs in your tables. This will show you how to do that. How to do a lab notebook, a very good lab notebook exemplar, information about sources of error, how to add due dates to your calendar, which is very helpful. If you subscribe to the calendar for this course, it'll automatically show up in your calendar on your devices. This is where you can download Microsoft Office. This has some information about scientific analysis. And then, throughout the semester, you're going to be carrying out what we call the Green River Project. This contains information about that, which we will talk more about in lab. And then this is going to contain the instructor schedule, so the schedule of other sections of lab, as well as the course schedule and what we'll be doing on a week-to-week basis. Your instructor will go over laboratory safety in lab, and on top of that, there are some additional lab safety materials located here. General policies, a video about laboratory safety, the USM Laboratory Emergency Plan, as well as safety data sheets, which is a document that shows chemical information for all of the chemicals you're going to work with this semester. Okay, so what you're going to need to do before you come into your first lab is a checklist. So going on the left-hand side here, if you scroll down a little bit, you should see this, where it says Before First Lab Checklist. So if you hit that, and then there's the link for it, and if you click on that, there's going to be a couple of items to complete before you come into lab this coming week. So the first item is purchasing lab notebook and safety eyewear. Now you're more than free to purchase a laboratory notebook and your eyewear at any place, including Amazon. Just know that the laboratory notebook has to be a special kind of notebook that's called a carbonless lab notebook. Basically what it does is when you write on it, there's a page underneath that what you write transfers into to make a copy, and that's what you're going to be passing in as you're doing your laboratory notebook this semester. But an easier way to get your laboratory materials is through the chemistry club. The chemistry club here on campus is going to be selling both of the materials that you need for lab, so the goggles and the lab notebook. The cost for this is $25, which is very competitive if you were to buy these materials separately elsewhere. If you just want the lab goggles, that's $10. And on top of that, when you indicate that you'd like to purchase them, when you come into lab in your section, there will be representatives from the chemistry club who will be available to give you your materials, at which time you can pay. You can pay with cash or Venmo at pickup. And if you're interested in this, you can click on this link right here, which will bring you to a Google form to fill out with your information, just so that they have an idea of how many items to order. All right, so that's the first item. The second item is to watch the welcome video, which you are doing right now. The item after that is this contains information for how to download Microsoft Office onto your computer. And again, that includes Microsoft Excel and Word and PowerPoint. Most of the documents you encounter are going to be in Microsoft Word. And in addition, we're going to be using Microsoft Excel this semester. And all of the instructions that you're going to be provided are going to be using Microsoft Excel. There are other spreadsheet programs out there, but the one that we're going to focus on in lab is going to be Excel. This link here will tell you how to download Microsoft Office. And again, you get to do it for free. Normally, this is $250. So definitely get that done before the first week of lab. Okay, this is how you access the calendar for Brightspace for the assignments, and it will have instructions for how to subscribe to it so that the due dates for all the assignments will automatically show up in your own calendar. And this includes if you have an iPhone and if you use Google Calendar. So those are the items that you'll want to complete before you come into lab. When you come into lab, we'll talk about the syllabus a little bit more in detail. I'll talk a little bit about laboratory safety. And then we'll talk a little bit about Excel. And so the first week of lab is just going to be going over those introductory materials. We won't be doing any experimentation until the following week. So if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to email me or your laboratory instructor. Thank you.